Celebrations of the late and longest-serving ANC President Oliver Tambo. President Cyril Ramaphosa will unveil a 9-metre tall bronze statue at the OR Tambo Airport this morning. Tambo would have been 103 years old today. He led the ANC in exile under difficult times and delivered numerous landmark speeches, including to the United Nations General Assembly, calling for action against the apartheid government. Meanwhile, the ANC in Gauteng will lay a wreath at Tambo's gravesite. Celebrations are also planned at his birthplace in Nkantolo village in the Eastern Cape. So for more on this story, let's cross over to our reporter who is at OR Tambo International Airport, Samkele Maseko. Samkele, a very good morning to you. Give us an idea, where exactly is the statue? Because we know that there is a statue already at the International Arrivals Terminal, so perhaps you can give us an understanding as to where this new statue will be unveiled.
Well, Leanne, on this very gloomy and what may say rainy day, on the birthday of the longest-serving president of the African National Congress, Oliver Tambo, whom many leaders of the ANC say that they tried to emulate this particular statue, which my colleague Stelo Hlanula is just going to show you, which the President Cyril Ramaphosa, alongside the mayor of Ekurhuleni.
Oh, so unfortunate. Looked like we just breaking up in the transmission there to Samkele, but we will go back to him. We'll find out. That is a massive statue that's going to be unveiled there at OR Tambo International Airport. We assure you that we'll get him. Apparently the picture is back, so let me try again. Samkele, we lost you there. Oh no, it looks like it's still frozen. Samkele, let me try and throw forward to you. All right, that looks much better.
Yes, Leanne, I can hear you perfectly. This statue will be unveiled. It's directly in front of the... Many ANC leaders speak and they say that they try to emulate the life and times of Oliver Tambo. I do know that the Gauteng Provincial Secretary of the ANC, Jacob Lehana Kawe, does have a portrait and a tattoo of Oliver Tambo's face tattooed onto his arm, on his body. And you've got many leaders, particularly in the region where his tombstone is at, in Wattville, here in Ekurhuleni, Nkantolo Masina, and the regional secretary, TK Ngiza. They've on numerous occasions, host occasions and memorial lectures on the life and times of Oliver Tambo. But today is the official government event where President Ramaphosa will be unveiling this massive statue of Oliver Tambo here at this international airport named after him. But I'm going to bring in the Ekurhuleni Mayor, Nkantolo Masina, just to speak about the significance of Oliver Tambo, particularly his remains are here in Ekurhuleni, the metropolis, which you are trying to bring about an Aero metropolis that's been largely spoken about. The president will also be unveiling another newly built hotel in the area. What does the statue of Oliver Tambo signify for the people of Ekurhuleni?
Well, as we said, that Oliver Tambo was larger than life. He presided over the ANC during the most difficult time in our struggle for over 5 decades over the leadership of the ANC. It is only befitting that as a region, but as a country, we honor his legacy and his contribution. And we are basically wanting to make sure that his legacy does not disappear. Hence, symbols like this, like a statue, like naming the airport and so on, will resemble who Oliver Tambo was. And as you said correctly, that every leader of the ANC knows that Tambo kept the ANC. He was a glue that kept the ANC together. He held it for over 5 decades under extreme conditions. So any natural leader of the ANC who wants to make a contribution to our struggle would want to emulate a good example of OR Tambo.
Mr. Mayor, when you look at the current contemporary politics of the country, the leadership that is there, you look at the social distance, the differences that's there between leaders and the people that they are leading, and you look at the era of Oliver Tambo, how intact they were, how intact he was with the community of Wattville, where his remains are. How would you eloquate and how would you compare that leadership style of OR Tambo to the leaders that we have today, including yourself, whom on numerous occasions society has questioned you on some of the stances that you've taken, even on social media?
Well, the important thing is that if we want to build ourselves as characters, we've got to emulate the example of OR Tambo. So you learn through trials as a person. So sometimes you can falter, sometimes you cannot. But what is important is that all leaders of the ANC at all material times are encouraged to be on the ground, to be with the masses of our people, but also to represent their aspiration, because to be with the masses of our people shouldn't be just an idea. It should be an act of service on the ground. So that is what all of us are striving to, and they will continue to learn and learn from OR Tambo.
When you look at the president's speech, when he comes to unveil this particular statue of Oliver Tambo, what can South Africans particularly look into getting from that particular speech, which will change the material conditions of their lives, as instead to just words that are normally purported by politicians like yourself, as you are the mayor of this particular Ekurhuleni metro?
Look, we are looking for inspiration, and I think that President Ramaphosa will rise to the occasion to inspire us as a nation. As you know, that we're undergoing through difficulties. COVID is still upon us. We can't even recognize each other. But more worryingly, our economy has been depleted. So we need to get a sense of inspiration. And I'm sure many of you would agree that tourism remains that one hope that should turn around our economy as stipulated in the plan that was presented by the president. So we'd like to hear more in terms of how should the country be repositioned for tourism purposes and other businesses, so that the environment can change for the better.
You speak about the economy, Mayor. Can I just ask if you've got any knowledge of who was the one who made this particular statue? Was any of the local business people, the local sculptors in Ekurhuleni or in South Africa used to benefit them financially and economically and to liberate them?
Yes, it was done by a local person, but the president will reveal all the details.
When you look at the other unveilings that will be done here today, you went to inspect the new Radisson Blue Hotel that's here in Ekurhuleni. The president will also launch that hotel later on today. What are some of the economic developments that are happening in the area that will benefit the people of Ekurhuleni, which the president will look into launching in the coming future as well?
Well, as you noted from the statement of the president, that is almost a 900 million rand worth of investment that has benefited over 1,600 workers during construction. There's going to new 400 jobs are going to be created in that particular facility, and we hope that as we expand the Erythropolis master plan, we will be able to attract quite a number of activities into the hotel and other places. But that's not the only development that we are dealing with next to the airport here. We are currently running an investment of over 300 billion, of which 25 billion is under construction. If you take your route R21 towards Pretoria, you'll see that private sector has come up, has heeded the call of the president to make those necessary investments, especially around the area of freight and logistics, which is coming up in the R21. Last week, I went there to inspect the express freeway, which is something that is amazing. It's the first of its kind in the country, and I hope that as we move towards that other side, we should be able to showcase those kind of developments where over 130,000 cars an hour are able to move without any interruption, just to make sure that the idea of airport being a strategic location is realized. So I'm quite happy with the developments that are taking place around this airport.
Thank you very much, Mzwandile Masina. That was the mayor of Ekurhuleni, Mzwandile Masina, speaking about this particular statue of Oliver Tambo behind us, which cost millions of rands, which President Cyril Ramaphosa will launch, and he will later move on to the new hotel here in Ekurhuleni, which is the Radisson Blue, which the mayor went to inspect last week, which the president will also launch.
Right. Samkele Maseko, thank you very, very much there at OR Tambo International Airport. That statue to be unveiled this morning. The president should be there around about 8 o'clock. So we'll dip into that live and bring you what the president has to say on this, what would have been the 103rd birthday of OR Tambo.